What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the Wednesday, February 28th edition of RGT News. Now, what this show is all about is basically covering different topics in the world of video gaming. I'm going to do it every Wednesday and Friday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern, so be on the lookout for that. Make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so that you get the latest alerts on the videos going on the channel. If the series does well, I may include Monday mornings as well, so give me some feedback in the comments section. I debuted this format last week, basically just talking about different news stories going on in one video, so that way you guys can keep up to date. So sit back, relax, and let's get into the latest gaming news on RGT News.
Hey, RGT85. Hey, Sean.
Oh my God, it's Stevie Richards! Mario Tennis Aces is a Nintendo Switch game that I pretty much forgot about. I think a lot of other people have too, but it looks like a very promising game. And after the Wii U debacle of Mario Tennis, I'm definitely ready to see them take the next step and take Mario Tennis seriously again, because it used to be a great franchise. Amazon of Spain has recently put up a suggested release date that could potentially be true of June 22nd. Now, that sort of makes sense to me. A lot of times if it's just a placeholder release date, they'll have like the last day of the year, December 31st, 2018. But to have a specific date like that, usually there's a reason to have a specific date like that. And that's a good time for this game to come out. It's definitely sort of a middle tier filler game for the Nintendo Switch, and the summer does seem a bit dry so far. We haven't heard too much from Nintendo about what's coming out. So this to me makes perfect sense. And I would really like to see this game come out around then, because it'll give me something to do instead of actually going outside to play tennis. It gets too hot in the summer. I don't like that. So it looks like Mario Tennis Aces, June 22nd, will be available on your Nintendo Switch. We all know Sega, we all love Sega, and we all know one thing. Sega has a tendency to screw things up from time to time. And recently, this recent little shenanigans with Sega is pretty funny, I must admit. So Yakuza 6 is coming out very soon, and people are looking forward to this game. Of course, Yakuza is an awesome series. It's definitely sort of an extension in my mind of Shenmue, so I always enjoy playing those games. And this is a PS4 exclusive, as usual with many Yakuza games. But Sega, they kind of messed something up here. So they released a demo out there so that people could check out the game, and there was actually a way in the demo to unlock the full game. Yes, you heard me right. You could unlock the full game from the demo. So Sega actually had to take the demo for Yakuza 6 down. There's no word if they're gonna put it back up, you know, sort of fixed so that people won't be able to access the full game, but it's just absolutely hilarious to me that that is what ended up happening. Like, do you put the whole demo inside of the game? Is the whole game in the demo? Like, that makes no sense. Who does that? Usually demos are just little snippets and they're small pieces of the full game, but no, Sega was just like, hey, we're gonna put the whole game in the demo, and if you're smart enough, you can figure it out. But yeah, so the Yakuza 6 demo, unfortunately, has been pulled from the PS4's digital shop. So if you were planning on checking out that demo, you may have to wait a bit longer, even if you might have to wait forever, because they may never do another demo for the game. Usually when a Nintendo Switch eShop game is coming, and it's a big game, you sort of get some promotion for it, you get a release date for it, but Outlast was just like, you know what, we're just gonna release the game. We're just gonna release the game. And on February 27th, Tuesday, they released Outlast on the Nintendo Switch eShop with nobody really noticing. They just sort of put it out there. And it looks like it's a pretty solid port of Outlast. Runs at 1080p, 30 frames per second when docked, 720p, 30 frames per second undocked. So that's pretty impressive. Outlast was a pretty good looking game. I have played it on other platforms and completed it, so honestly, I will be skipping this game. Although it does include the DLC at $24.99, so if you're looking for a complete Outlast package, you will be happy with that. Now, what's more interesting to me though is the sequel, Outlast 2. Outlast 2 to me looks pretty cool. I haven't played the sequel, but I've heard good things about it, and you know, I like the story in it. I like that it's a crazy religious cult sort of thing, because I like stories like that. I'm into stuff like that. I'm into studying different things like that. You know, in my PS4 and Xbox One upcoming games of March video, which I made a big mistake on and left off a big game, which we'll talk about in a minute, I actually was really looking forward to Far Cry 5 because it has that same sort of thing. So Outlast 2 looks really cool. We know that it's coming to the Nintendo Switch, and now it looks like it has a release date of March 23rd. And honestly, I will probably pick this up on the Nintendo Switch because I have not played Outlast 2. I played the first game to death, but Outlast 2 is a new experience for me. It seems like they did a really solid port of Outlast 1 with the DLC on the Nintendo Switch with the aforementioned performance. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a good time, and I will be picking that up on March 23rd. One of the more interesting things that the Xbox offers is the Xbox Games Pass, and it seems like it's a really good value that's about to get a lot better in the month of March as well. They have announced what games will be available on the Xbox One's Game Pass, and it's a pretty stout lineup. You've got Sonic CD, which is a classic game, Rise of the Tomb Raider, which was one of the best games I've played in recent memory, and of course Sea of Thieves, which comes out on March 20th. And in my upcoming PS4 and Xbox One video, people were like, where's Sea of Thieves? RGT, you didn't talk about Sea of Thieves, and I totally let that slip off my radar. But I will be checking out Sea of Thieves because of the Xbox Games Pass. Without, with paying a simple monthly subscription fee and having access to all these games from the Xbox to the Xbox 360 to the Xbox One and new releases, that's pretty cool. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what Xbox Games Pass does next. It's really heating up. It's a great service, and the amount of games that they're putting on it, top tier games, is pretty impressive. So I'm definitely keeping my eye out for what is coming up with Xbox Games Pass, and I'm very impressed with this lineup of games that they are adding. They're just adding a ton of great stuff, and to be able to play a brand new game, Sea of Thieves, without having to actually buy it, that's pretty impressive. So Xbox Games Pass, definitely heating up, definitely something you'll want to keep your eye on. So the final story I got for you guys is more industry related, but it's actually a pretty big deal in my opinion, and it sort of shows the shifting of gaming culture as a whole. The ESRB, we all know who they are. They give the games the rating system, mature, teen, everyone, whatever. And I'm so old, I remember when it was like KA13, like you had to be 13 to buy this game and stuff like that. But the ESRB has been around for a long time. Obviously, it was formed around the time of Mortal Kombat and Night Trap when those games were terrorizing kids or something like that. But the ESRB has actually done something pretty interesting. They announced today that they will be implementing something on box art when a game includes things like DLC, loot boxes, loot crates, and things of that nature, to sort of tell parents that you will have to potentially purchase additional stuff in a game. And that to me is very interesting because it's sort of a broad statement. DLC is not necessarily a bad thing when there's downloadable content for a game. It just extends the life of a game sometimes. But things like loot crates and loot boxes and things of that nature, actually I feel do need to be specified. They do need to be right there plain in front in the simple terms on the box, because a lot of people are getting roped into these games, especially kids and stuff like that, and they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're getting into. Maybe their friends play the game and their parents just give them their credit card or something. But parents that actually keep an eye on their kids, they're probably wondering what these games are with all these microtransactions. So I'm curious to see sort of what the groundwork is, because a game like The Legend of Zelda, is that going to have Breath of the Wild? Is that going to have an ESRB rating for downloadable content on it? It's going to be very interesting to see what comes of this. But obviously loot crates and loot boxes and having, pay to win mentality is becoming a big thing in gaming culture. And, you're starting to see all forms of people, whether it's consumers, government people, and now the ESRB get involved in this situation. So I'm very curious to see what comes of this. I think it's a pretty positive thing though, and it's one of the few positive things the ESRB has done lately. But kudos to the ESRB, good job on that. All right, and that is going to do it for the February 28th Wednesday edition of RGT News. Like I said, I plan on doing this Wednesday and Friday mornings at 9 a.m. sharp. It'll be scheduled for that time, so make sure you turn on notifications so you can get your daily dose of gaming news. And like I said, I do plan on tweaking this as I go along. This show is definitely in its infancy, but after the success of last week's episodes, I thought it was time to, move forward with this and keep pushing forward. If you guys are receptive to it, if the views are good, if you guys are enjoying it, then I will include a Monday episode. I can add that in anytime. So give me some feedback in the comments section down below if you would like to see it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so that way you're always up to date with gaming news. This won't interfere with any other projects I got going on, such as reviews, opinion pieces, breaking news. I'll still just set up the camera and shoot, but I did want to give you guys something easy to digest in, a block formula, basically, something you could just listen to if need be on the way to work. So thank you guys for checking out this video. Like I said, shoot me some feedback in the comments section down below. Let me know what you think about these topics, what you think about the Yakuza 6 demo, because that obviously was the funniest thing I've ever seen in a long time. And thank you for checking out this video. Be sure to check out links in the description box down below. We've got social media, we've got Patreon, we've got t-shirts, we've got all sorts of fun stuff down there. So make sure you follow me on all forms of social media, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Later.